Southern Soul, ATLFM.com, Southern Soul, EZP. Thanks for another time for us to spend together on Southern Soul, EZP. It is free for all. We're going to do everything that we just want to do, and we're inviting you to talk about anything and everything. There's just so many things going on. Of course, we've got the war in Israel that we have to be conscious of. We've got the two teenagers that were unalived on top of the Georgia mountain. We have so many things that are going on. EZP is talking about Louisiana. And also we've got videos, our previous videos. You'll see those videos on the classroom, the Supreme Court in Louisiana, and also many other topics that we're going to host right now. Mr. Mac Beats.
It's Mac Beats from the Hot Box FM on Southern Soul ECP, and we got to talk about everything. We got to talk about all the things going on that happened in Georgia down here on top of a mountain. These two twins were found to be dead, but they weren't suicidal, and the investigation is one big long cover-up. I'm not going to even mince words. I'm not going to sugarcoat. Ain't no candy factory nowhere near me. So ain't no sugarcoating going on here. We think those guys were, their lives were taken in foul play. We, of course, are going to keep you covered because nobody else is covering this. Did you notice that a few months ago they were found dead and they didn't give you any information after the fact? Kind of like when the guy was lynched in New York a few days ago in Albany, and you didn't hear anything about it. All these things are going on because the zone is being flooded by all this new stuff that's going on. Adrianna Smith, ladies, I don't care if you're the dark-skinned black woman to the most light-skinned white woman, the richest woman, the poorest woman, big, heavy set. I don't care if you never have had a man in your whole life and never want one. I don't care if you've been married all your life, all your adult life, right? None of that matters right now. Adrianna Smith has had a C-section in a coma to help deliver her child. And the reason that I want all women, I made that whole big thing saying it didn't matter what color you were, economic status, sexuality status, whether you want to be with a man, whether you would ever allow a man within 5 feet of you, it doesn't matter. All you should probably pay attention to this case right now. This Adrianna Smith case, because she passed away as soon as they removed her from the ventilation. They were just keeping her physical body alive, but she had been gone. In fact, her body was rotting. She wasn't even all the way alive. Her body was rotten, so that's why they had to cut the child out of her. You didn't know that? Well, yeah. So I'm telling you, it always starts as an experiment. And they made this experiment public so it could be a case for all these people to pass crazy laws on women and what they can do with their bodies. That's all this is about. And they're going to try to replicate that because there's been a drop in babies, marriages, and people getting together and having kids. So what they're trying to do, I think, matter of fact, I'm so sure about this that I'm telling you about this. I'm reporting it to you, reporting live. I think they're going to use this in the future, and I think they're going to start with poor women first. They're going to start with black women because they already started with black women. They're going to start with, then it's going to be the Hispanic women. It's going to be whatever woman that's in jail or in a vulnerable position. And I think they're going to use women in comas to incubate children, because they've been looking at a way to try to increase population while at the same time economically squeezing everybody to death. So they always start with vulnerable women. Even if you're the richest woman in the world, even if you're the richest woman in the country, your state, your city, it is going to reverberate back on you. And even if poor women, and women without resources, women who don't have money, are subject to this type of treatment and forced to be done this way, it affects all women. So even if you have sisters, mothers, aunties, and you don't want them to be strapped down somewhere as an incubator. You should be looking at this case.
Right. You know what? You made some excellent points there, Mac Beast. And the other thing that may not be aware of Southern Soul family is that in the prison system, we're changing people's minds literally with some chemicals that perform what we call a lobotomy. And so what happens is they change your thinking and change your mind when you commit serious felonies, and they'll reduce your prison sentence by many years. If you are sentenced to 30-year sentence, you can go through this biological lobotomy so that they can reprogram your entire brain, and you can be done and out of jail in 7 minutes. What do you think about that, family? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment on that one. You got to comment on that, because that'll cut your sentence almost non-existent. It'll just remove it. You want to go through this psychological lobotomy, Mac B.
Because you know who's going to be the most affected by it? The young black men that are falsely accused of a crime or over punished for a crime and don't have a lawyer, and have to rely on the public pretender to help them out, that has 500 cases or 300 cases or 150 cases at a time, and is in court looking at your case, talking to the judge, and doesn't even know what your case is because he has 150 cases, right? So those are going to be the first people who are going to be affected. Black, Hispanic, white, whatever color you are. If you look in your wallet right now, matter of fact, look in your bank statement and see if you can afford $15,000 for a lawyer right now to defend yourself against a serious case. If you don't have $15,000 right now, then you need to be looking at this case. You need to be making sure that they can sentence you to lobotomy.
Now, I will have to add, Mac B, through the jail, you can serve the time. You can still do the time, the 15 years or the 30 years. But they can shorten your time in 7 minutes just by wiping out your memories in your brain. We'll call it a biological lobotomy.
Now, I've been working on computers since before I started with music, and I know how to wipe a hard drive. So you mean to tell me they can wipe your brain off?
Yes, they've done it already, and they've done it in several prison systems, and it actually has turned the prisoners into legitimate zombies, in my opinion. That, I think, is very inhumane to be able to do that. And then you have to start from scratch on it.
About is if they wipe everything off, what goes in its place? What do they put in your brain? If they put anything else? And really, I gotta ask, if you're forcing this on, well, they're not forcing it, but it's only a step away. It's always a step away to a more efficient way to cut out what you're thinking about.
Right.
The
other thing is they implant circuits in your brain to make you feel what the victims have felt, the victims' families have felt, so that you never will ever want to commit a crime like that.
To the CEOs of Abercrombie and Fitch, who were caught in a child trafficking case and who are now free to go during their trial, unlike P. Diddy. I wonder if they're going to be punished that way because they've trafficked hundreds of boys.
It's about choice. You can choose to do the time. You don't have to go through the biological debate. Insert feelings into the process.
I just can only imagine it's just the amount of time before it becomes a part of your sentence.
It is a slippery slope.
Everybody's bracing for World War III. Easy P, what are your thoughts?
Well, they're kind of complicated. I think the Israeli Prime Minister is grabbing for straws because he's got several court cases and his legacy is on the line. Many people don't know the Israeli situation is a complex one. Most people that live in Israel have other countries they go to. 90% of those people who live there travel abroad and go back to their home country. So this struggle with their neighbors has been made complicated by Iran because of their abilities to garner support from satellite nations surrounding Israel. So therefore, those nations support the framework that Iran stands on. No nonsense, fight backs all the time, doesn't submit to Western powers type of perspective. So as a result of that, they garner support from Lebanon. They garner support from the Houthis. They garner support from Syria. So that's what makes so-called Middle East, because it's actually Africa. It's been misnamed. The so-called Middle East is kind of complex because Israel was not even there before 1945 in the Balfour Agreement, and England and the United States actually created Israel. It's a complicated history in the fact that in 1953, when we as Americans installed the Shah of Iran, and the Shah of Iran stayed there until the Ayatollah came during the Carter administration, and we had hostages, American hostages. So my idea of this situation here in a nutshell, without being too long, because I could talk a whole hour about this, is that it's not really a serious war. It's not really a fatal war where we are looking at World War III at this point. We have bombed Iran before in 1991. However, it's serious enough for us to get serious about protecting ourselves here in America, because that Strait of Hormuz, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that waterway where all the oil comes through. UAE and Saudi Arabia, and Iran is on the other side. That can be a powder keg for World War III if that Strait of Hormuz is blocked and the oil can't get through. So it's a lot of complexities. Southern Soul family, if you're getting something from the video, give us a like, share, and a subscribe. Any of our Southern Soul family performers have been in the Iraq theater, have been in Iran, have been over in the so-called Middle East. And so I'm soliciting you guys too. Come on in, up and out, and comment and educate the Southern Soul community about your experience in the armed forces, the United States Armed Forces.
All right, definitely. And be paying attention to a lot of fun things that are coming over the summer with Southern Soul, ATLFM.com, new shows on Southern Soul, ATLFM.com. I know I wasn't supposed to say nothing, but I'm saying something. So we got new shows coming for you, and we also got new videos coming for you, and we got new interviews coming for you. So be ready, and we're going to be keeping you updated on everything we talked about.
Yes, we're going to keep you updated because we've got Southern Soul Academy. Southern Soul Academy will allow you to be educated about the record business, the performer, the promoter. If you're a record executive, if you're a manager, you can learn about contracts, you can learn about publishing, you can learn about all the particulars in the music business regarding agreements and contracts. We're not attorneys, but it is for information only, and you will gain a lot of information with our Southern Soul Academy course.
Definitely. And if you're still hanging around, that means you're loving it. So make sure you go ahead, karate chop that like button, speak on that comment button, hit that share button, let your people hear it. We out!
Be out on the radio, Southern Soul, ATLFM.com.